Hello and welcome back, resilient community, to the channel dedicated to decoding the darkest, most confusing maneuvers of the narcissistic personality. Today, we are shining a light into a surprisingly potent, yet often overlooked, battleground in the narcissistic relationship: the bathroom and the associated acts of personal care and privacy. You might think this is a neutral space, but for a narcissistic woman, even this most intimate functional room becomes another stage for control, manipulation, and the blatant display of entitlement. We're going to expose 7 truly disgusting things. And by disgusting, I mean 7 pathologically manipulative and emotionally abusive behaviors that narcissistic women leverage in this space to control their partners, extract supply, and violate personal boundaries. Prepare yourself, because the violation of privacy and dignity that occurs in this supposedly safe space is often profoundly shocking and a clear microcosm of the entire toxic relationship. Behavior 1. Weaponizing privacy, the control of access. The first disgusting behavior is the pathological weaponization of privacy, the deliberate, rigid control over who can access the shared or primary bathroom and when. The narcissistic woman views the bathroom, especially during her extensive grooming rituals, as her private, sacred temple. And your need for access becomes an immediate source of supply and control. She may engage in excessive, hours-long occupations, creating arbitrary, unyielding schedules that blatantly disregard your logistical needs or your urgency, forcing you to wait, beg, or feel intensely inconvenienced just to perform basic necessities. This is not self-care. It is a profound power play, a way to assert that her needs are infinitely superior and that your comfort is utterly beneath her consideration, turning a basic human need into a frustrating, draining experience that reinforces her dominance and your perceived inferiority in the shared space. This behavior is disgusting because it is a calculated, non-verbal declaration of utter entitlement and a blatant refusal to acknowledge your coexistence or basic human rights within your shared home. By making your access conditional and inconvenient, she constantly receives negative supply from your visible frustration, anxiety, and the logistical chaos she deliberately creates, ensuring that her mere presence in the house remains the central, controlling factor in your daily routine. Furthermore, this excessive occupation is often a cover for the meticulous, obsessive maintenance of her false self, reinforcing the necessity of her perfect outward appearance and justifying the pathological time investment required to sustain her illusion of flawlessness. Behavior 2. The supply audit, invasion of personal space. The second disgusting behavior is the supply audit, the brazen, complete invasion of your personal storage and private effects within the bathroom space. Narcissistic women often show an intense pathological curiosity about their partner's most private possessions, viewing your things not as private property, but as potential sources of information, control, or usable supply. They will covertly or openly rummage through your medicine cabinet, inspect your private grooming products, check the labels on your prescription bottles, or scrutinize your personal toiletries, often under the guise of simply tidying up or looking for a lost item. But the real motive is surveillance and data gathering. This behavior is psychologically disgusting because it is a profound violation of dignity and a total lack of respect for personal boundaries. The narcissist is searching for weakness, evidence of infidelity, real or imagined, or any information that can be weaponized later during a disagreement, such as a specific medication or a sensitive personal item. By rifling through your private space, she gains a twisted form of intimate knowledge that makes her feel powerfully superior and in control of your hidden vulnerabilities, using the bathroom as an easy, low-risk site for covert intelligence gathering that constantly keeps you in a state of hypervigilance and makes you feel perpetually exposed. Behavior 3. The financial exploitation, luxury resource drain. The third disgusting behavior is the often hidden financial exploitation related to luxury resource consumption within this space. The narcissistic woman often displays an astronomical level of entitlement regarding high-end, expensive personal care products, viewing the shared resources as a bottomless fund for her extravagant, non-essential needs. She will spend exorbitant amounts on boutique creams, exclusive perfumes, and unnecessary, costly beauty treatments, depleting shared funds without consultation and often expecting the partner to shoulder the entire, crippling financial burden for the maintenance of her false self. This behavior is disgusting because it demonstrates a chilling financial ruthlessness and total disregard for the shared economy or financial stability of the household. She views the money spent on her self-maintenance as a necessary investment, and any challenge to her excessive spending is met with cold fury, manipulative tears, or accusations that you are trying to deliberately undermine her appearance and attractiveness, thereby controlling her value. The resulting debt or financial strain is merely an acceptable, necessary consequence of maintaining her fragile self-image, confirming her pathological belief that she is owed luxury and that your resources exist solely to serve her entitlement. Behavior 4. The projection of shame and judgment, grooming criticism. The fourth disgusting behavior is the insidious projection of shame and judgment related to the partner's own grooming habits. While she obsesses over her own immaculate appearance, the narcissistic woman will often use the vulnerability of the bathroom space to deliver cutting, critical, and devaluing comments about her partner's hygiene, appearance, or personal care routines. She may criticize your choice of products, mock your lack of dedication to your appearance, or constantly highlight minor physical flaws, often under the guise of helpful advice or caring about your presentation. This behavior is disgusting because it is a direct, calculated attack on the partner's self-esteem and a cruel projection of her own deep-seated shame. By constantly criticizing and judging her partner's appearance, she momentarily deflects attention from her own profound internal inadequacy and fragility, ensuring that she is the only one who occupies the superior position of physical perfection and judgment. The bathroom, a place where people are naturally vulnerable, becomes a hostile environment where the partner is conditioned to feel perpetually insufficient and ugly, fueling the narcissist's ego through their partner's subsequent self-doubt and shame. Behavior 5. Creating the chaos corner, lack of responsibility. The fifth disgusting behavior is the creation of the chaos corner, the complete, willful lack of responsibility and personal accountability for mess, cleanliness, and the general state of the shared bathroom. The narcissistic woman often expects her partner to act as her primary unpaid domestic servant, leaving her discarded items, soiled towels, empty product containers, and general clutter for the partner to clean up without ever acknowledging or apologizing for the mess. Her sense of entitlement extends to the expectation that others will always be there to manage the mundane, inconvenient realities of her life. This behavior is psychologically disgusting because it is a blatant, tangible manifestation of her belief in her own superiority and freedom from accountability. She views herself as being above the tedious, dirty work of maintaining the space, reinforcing the pathological dynamic that she is the royalty, and the partner is the disposable servant, whose sole purpose is to manage the unglamorous aspects of their life. The repeated, willful creation of chaos and clutter is a subtle, constant form of disrespect and emotional taxation on the partner, who is forced to constantly clean up the tangible remnants of her entitlement. Behavior 6. The bathroom spy tool, exploiting shared items. The sixth disgusting behavior is the intentional use of a bathroom spy tool, the exploitation of seemingly innocuous shared items for surveillance. This involves the deliberate loss of a small discrete digital device, like an old, tiny digital recorder or a subtly placed camera disguised as a common item, or the calculated reading of personal correspondence that the partner leaves in the bathroom, relying on the partner's expectation of privacy in that space. The narcissist may pretend to be in the room simply to read a book, while actively eavesdropping on a phone call or private conversation. This behavior is terrifying and disgusting because it shows an advanced, calculated intent to violate the partner's right to private thought and conversation. The bathroom, where one might make sensitive calls or reflect privately, is turned into an audio or visual collection point for the narcissist's intelligence gathering. This constant fear of being watched or listened to, even in a private room, ensures the partner remains in a state of high anxiety and self-censorship, maintaining the narcissist's ultimate goal: to control the partner's actions and thoughts by ensuring they believe they are perpetually under scrutiny, even in their most vulnerable moments. Behavior 7. The illness performance, symptom weaponization. The seventh disgusting behavior is the illness performance, the theatrical, manipulative exaggeration or fabrication of physical symptoms, often bathroom-related, to garner excessive attention, divert responsibility, or secure high-value pity supply. The narcissistic woman will suddenly claim to be desperately ill, unable to perform basic tasks, or require immediate dramatic attention centered around a fabricated ailment, forcing the partner to drop everything and cater to her perceived emergency, which magically disappears when she is no longer receiving the desired supply. This behavior is psychologically disgusting because it represents the ultimate weaponization of human empathy. She uses the partner's natural compassion and concern for well-being against them, securing a massive supply hit of pity and absolute attention, while simultaneously freeing herself from any inconvenient domestic or social responsibilities she wished to avoid. This manipulative performance turns the focus entirely back onto her own physical state, ensuring she remains the central, ailing figure in the relationship, and reinforcing the pathological expectation that her partner's primary role is to serve as her private, perpetually concerned emotional caregiver. Understanding these 7 disgusting pathological behaviors confirms that the narcissistic woman views every shared space, even the most private, as merely another arena for emotional extraction and control. This realization is the crucial step in dismantling the psychological chaos they intentionally create. Your safety and dignity demand that you refuse to participate in the chaos. The ultimate act of self-respect is the unwavering refusal to engage with her deliberate manipulations, whether they involve waiting for the bathroom or cleaning up her intentional mess. The de-escalation protocol. When faced with the weaponized privacy, trap 1, calmly state your needs once, and then immediately use a different bathroom, if available, or leave the house to use a public facility, demonstrating that her control has no effect on your ability to function. Financial boundary enforcement. Immediately establish separate bank accounts and meticulously track joint expenses. Trap 3. Any expenditure related to her extensive grooming must be explicitly labeled as her sole, non-shared responsibility, reinforcing the boundary that your resources are not endlessly available for her entitlement. Zero tolerance for the spy tools. If you suspect the bathroom has been used for surveillance, trap 6, conduct an immediate, thorough sweep and secure all sensitive documents. Do not leave private phones or correspondence unattended in the shared space, treating the area with the security protocol it deserves. The disgusting behaviors are merely the outward symptoms of a malignant internal disorder. They are not a reflection of your worth, your hygiene, or your inability to keep a clean house. They are a clear reflection of her profound, incurable pathology. Your recovery requires a total, surgical removal of her ability to control your physical space and your self-esteem. Every boundary you set in the bathroom space is a victory for your personal sovereignty and dignity. The weaponized privacy is a form of environmental hostage-taking, forcing you to organize your life around her capricious and self-serving whims and rituals. The supply audit is driven by a deep-seated paranoid need to gather ammunition, proving that even your most private health or grooming routines are viewed as potential weapons. The financial exploitation demonstrates that the narcissist views luxury as an inherent right of her false self, while viewing your money as a disposable resource for her maintenance. The projection of shame is a calculated tactic to lower your self-esteem, making you feel perpetually unattractive or inadequate, ensuring you remain dependent on her fickle approval. The chaos corner confirms the narcissist's pathological belief in her immunity from all domestic accountability, expecting the world, and specifically you, to clean up her mess. The bathroom spy tool turns a place of supposed refuge into a hostile environment of perpetual surveillance, robbing you of the simple human freedom to be alone and unguarded. The illness performance is a manipulative drama designed to secure high-value pity supply and deflect attention from her own emotional emptiness or failures. Do not engage in arguments about the mess. Simply remove yourself from the conflict and refuse to participate in the servant role she has assigned to you in the shared space. The narcissistic woman's obsession with the bathroom is an intense focus on the maintenance of her outward mask, proving how much she fears exposure of her true inadequate self. Any criticism she delivers about your appearance is a projection of her own deepest insecurities, weaponized and targeted at your most vulnerable moments. Your dignity is priceless. Do not allow her control over a shared room to translate into control over your entire sense of self and personal boundaries. The intensity of her consumption of high-end products is directly proportional to the intensity of her inner shame and the fragility of her outward appearance. When she exaggerates an illness, trap 7, remember that the true emergency is not her health, but her acute, desperate need for immediate, total attention supply. The narcissist's lack of empathy is most obvious in these mundane acts. She literally cannot conceive of the basic human need for privacy or quick, unimpeded access to a facility. Your recovery requires you to reclaim your physical space by setting non-negotiable, firm boundaries around access, cleanliness, and the privacy of your belongings. The chaos she leaves behind is a tangible, physical manifestation of the emotional chaos she intentionally injects into the relationship and expects you to clean up. The best way to neutralize the guilt and shame from her grooming criticism is to focus on your own, healthy self-acceptance, valuing genuine well-being over her impossible standards. Refuse to be drawn into her manipulative dramas and theatrical performances, whether they are focused on a perceived illness or a manufactured crisis over a broken product. The disgusting behaviors are predictable patterns, and your knowledge of them is the only force that can remove their element of surprise and neutralize their psychological impact. You are entirely responsible for securing your own privacy against her compulsive spying, as she possesses neither the moral compass nor the empathy to respect your personal boundaries. Her excessive time in the bathroom is the time necessary to reconstruct her false self before facing the world, proving that her confidence is an elaborate, time-consuming performance. The disgusting acts are a constant, low-level emotional taxation on your energy and patience, designed to keep you drained and focused on her rather than your own needs. Your decision to leave the relationship is the ultimate act of self-care and hygiene, permanently removing the source of this profound and ongoing psychological filth from your life. The bathroom, as a microcosm of the entire relationship, reveals the core truth. Everything is transactional, controlled, and exists only to serve the needs of the malignant ego. Use the clarity gained from exposing these behaviors as fuel for your no contact, a stark reminder of the disrespectful, dehumanizing environment you are bravely escaping. Your focus should be on detaching emotionally from the petty, self-serving control attempts, allowing them to register as signs of her profound sickness, not signs of your inadequacy. The narcissistic woman's inability to share space equitably is a powerful indicator of her complete lack of cooperation and her pathological need to dominate every single environment. Thank you for joining me to bravely examine these 7 truly disgusting, pathologically manipulative behaviors that narcissists employ, even in the private space of the bathroom. The greatest takeaway is that every shared space with a narcissist is a battleground for control, and your vigilance is your strongest shield. By recognizing these traps, from the financial exploitation to the weaponized privacy, you reclaim your dignity and assert your right to privacy and self-respect. If this video has provided you with necessary clarity and empowered your security, please like, subscribe, and share it to help others identify and neutralize these insidious control tactics, because your ultimate freedom begins with the total sovereignty over your own body, space, and peace of mind.